Hello and welcome to Learning to Code. In this episode, I'm going to be playing with Rails methods inside IRB. So let's get started. First thing I want to do here is go into my terminal. And let's clear this stuff off here. Oh, hey, what's going on here? There we go. I'm going to open up my terminal here. And your terminal may look different than mine. If you're not used to working in the terminal, it'll look a little bit different, typically like a black background, and you may see like a dollar sign instead of this these arrows and whatnot. So don't worry, everything's still the same. We're going to jump into IRB here by just typing IRB. This way we can write Ruby code inside our command line interface. And now we're in the IRB console, so we're good to go. A lot of times I like to use IRB when I'm playing with different methods that I may have seen used somewhere, or a lot of times I go right to the Ruby docs here, rubydoc.org, and I might pick some type of class, like a string class here, and look for different methods, and I just play with them to see what they do. Of course, they have examples over here and some information on them, but the best way to get used to them and learn them is just by playing with them. So I want to use one here called downcase, just to do an example real quick here. Downcase returns a copy of the string with all uppercase letters replaced with their lowercase counterparts, and that's what we want to do here. So back into our IRB console here, let's just create a string. Let's say like maybe it's my email at example, and I'm just, example.com. So I want something like this. It's my email at example.com. But let's say for my website, I want to make it nice and standard across my site. So anybody that enters their email addresses, maybe I want to do a validation or something. And before I do that, I want to go ahead and just standardize it to downcase, or set it to downcase first. So I could do something simple like here, my example at example.com is now downcase. Now I can check each one of those characters. I don't have to go through and figure out whether they're uppercase or lowercase, because with emails, they are not case sensitive. So for example, both these examples of my example or my email at example.com would both send to the same email address. So that's pretty cool. But let's say that we're creating a blog and we want to have users contribute blog posts, but we want to make sure that our titles for their blog posts are all standard across the site. So we don't want like some titles to be all uppercase and some to be some, I don't know, some weird case or have hyphens or, dashes in between. We want everything to be like a nice title case, so everything's standard. And one way that I've seen this done is with a method called titleize, or title case, I believe it's called. And well, let's just start an example here. So let's say title. Let's set a variable title to a blog title. Okay, real creative, right? So here we go. We have a title set to a blog title. It's all uppercase. Now this is personal preference. I've seen some major publications use all uppercase titles in their posts. And I guess if you're trying to convey a specific message, or that's just your style, that's fine. But a lot of user experience professionals will argue that all uppercase characters can be hard to read. So we want to keep it nice and simple. It's our blog. Let's make sure everybody follows our standard pattern of title case titles. For example, like a blog title would be title case, right? So let's try that. So let's try title dot titleize, right? That's what we're working on. Title dot titleize, and it's giving me an error here. No method error, undefined method titleize for a blog title with class string. So there's no method. There's no built-in method to Ruby, and since we're just working with Ruby here, and we could have figured that out by just scrolling up here to the methods And, looking through here, and of course there's no titleize, so we knew that was going to happen. And so how do we do it? I've seen it happen before. I've seen it work before, but I do spend a lot of time in Rails, and a lot of Stack Overflow posts actually will mention Rails when it has to do with Ruby, since a lot of Ruby is written for Rails. So, not everything though, so I'd have people probably yelling at me because of that. So let's go here and look up titleize and titleize the word. And you can see here some examples. These are really great because this is something you could see with a bunch of users contributing posts. Some people might just write in all lowercase. Some people might, switch case, or here you see the Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's all done with underscores, and you could have hyphens in between, whatever. So this seems like a really great way to set this up to nice and standard titles. And you can see here titleize is also aliased as title case. So if you prefer title case, if that makes more sense to you, then go ahead. That's fine. That's up to you. So now that we know that that's available, how can we get this to work in IRB? It didn't work here because it's not defined, and it's really, really simple. In fact, so simple, I really didn't need to do a whole video on this. I could have just did like one sentence or one paragraph lesson on this, and this is it. Require Rails. Awesome, that took a second, I don't know why. But require Rails, also now it's requiring that we use the Rails gem in this instance of IRB here. So now I can go ahead. Okay, so if you haven't been using Rails a lot on your computer or on the system that you're doing, then you might get an error message. For example, I'm going to jump into Cloud9 here, which is an online ID, and we're going to jump into IRB. And inside IRB here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hit require Rails, and then you're going to get this message. So you may have received this message: load error, cannot load such file Rails. And this is just saying basically that Rails is not installed. So in order to install it, just do a gem install Rails, and you can jump over to the Ruby gems /gems/Rails here, or just Google Rails gem. And this here is 5.1.2, which is the latest version as of the time of this video here. And I can just go down here to install and just copy this, gem install Rails, and I could have put that right in here as well, but I just typed it in. So you could just, then now I have two of them. That's not going to work. So gem install Rails, hit enter. It's going to load all those things up. It's going to take a while, so I'll probably fast forward this video so you don't have to watch the whole thing. Okay, well that took a while, and I'm pretty sure I have one of the slowest internet connections known to man. So hopefully yours didn't take as long as mine, but I fast forwarded so you didn't have to watch the whole thing. And you'll notice on the bottom here, successfully installed Rails 5.1.2, 36 gems installed. Of course, this might be different for you. You might be uploading a different version of Rails if you're watching this video in the future. And you may have a different amount of gems installed, but successfully installed tells us that it is pretty good. So let's just clear this and get up to the top here. Let's go back into IRB. Let's go ahead and require Rails again, and hopefully we get a true. Perfect. So now we're cooking with Crisco. I am going to jump back into my editor because I prefer it, and let's play with that titleize method again. So if you want to make sure, if you left IRB and you go back in, you're not going to get what I just got, which is the title here. If you just type title, you're going to get something like, if you look over here, title, name error, undefined local variable or method title, and that's because we haven't set it yet. So if you haven't set it, just go ahead and set it again to a string of a blog title. Great, now we have it. Okay, now I'm going to go back. Let's go back over here, and let's open this big because that's confusing me having two of those. And let's just do title.titleize. Bam! There we have it. So that's it. So now I can actually use Rails-specific methods with an IRB. That's really all I wanted to do in this video, is to show you. Go ahead and look through the Rails or the Ruby methods, play around with the Ruby methods, go to the Ruby on Rails API, play with all those methods in there. Right here in IRB, and it's nice and simple if you just want to test something real, like especially specific like this, like, hey, how do I manipulate the titles, or how do I manipulate the string, or maybe you have a number or an integer or something you want to manipulate, and you can go and figure out, hey, can you do it in Ruby? Does Ruby have a method for it? If no, maybe Rails has a method for it, because they have lots of cool different methods. For example, maybe I wanted to do like title dot, I think this is it, parameterize, that's a long word. Cool, so look at that. So now like I could do something like that. I could parameterize the title, and that way it's URL friendly, right? So maybe I want to use this as like a friendly ID or a slug, make it a little bit more SEO friendly. So that's really cool, and those titleize and parameterize are both Rails-specific methods that you wouldn't be able to use without requiring Rails inside here. So thanks for learning to code with me. What are you waiting for? Go code.